And I
Back to
believe
you.
our Immortals aren't playing with FNX, right? I'm not too sure the story behind it, and I don't want to speculate too much. But they are playing with their coach Zach, who it's been a hot minute since he's played in the competitive scene.
It certainly has. He obviously came on board as a coach. He actually played with Fallen and company before that Kaboom team that came to X Games Aspen in 2015. He was originally a part of that team. They had made some roster moves towards the end of 2014 before they went to that X Games event. So yeah, Zach was definitely kind of playing around back then with Fallen and company, and he's come to this team as a coach. He's been with them for a pretty good amount of time. I think ever since they joined the Immortals organization from Tempo Storm, he's been involved. When Peacemaker obviously departed Tempo Storm to go to Liquid, so yeah, definitely a guy who's been around. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit worrisome that they don't have their full five competing in this tournament. Not sure what the case is either, actually. So I don't want to speculate, but yeah, it certainly hampers them a little bit. Didn't hamper them yesterday though. I mean, they still wound up beating Liquid 2-0. So props to them.
Now, map-wise, we saw SK play their favorite Mirage, and they took the bo3 over at Luminosity. I'd say it wasn't too much of a challenge for SK. You could see Fallen just doing pretty much whatever Fallen wanted. He never really was contested, never really challenged against Luminosity. At one point, we saw him entering with an op and not missing. He was just going insane. Today against Immortals, what are the odds of seeing another Mirage, or is Immortals just going to ban that out, or are they comfortable on it? What are we looking at map-wise?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, kind of the weird thing is that not weird, I guess, but the thing is both these teams pretty much stay away from Nuke nowadays. So it's kind of going to be a game of chicken on like who's actually going to actually ban Nuke, and then whoever bans Nuke, that frees up the other team to maybe ban like their second weakness, or maybe it lets them ban their opponent's strength. And SK are the first one to ban. They're not going to mess around. Like there's a chance they could have left Nuke out there and Immortals probably would have banned it, but they want to just go ahead and get rid of it and just make sure that they don't have to play their weakest map. Immortals now, because Nuke has been banned, they can kind of go to something else now that maybe they don't want to play. Maybe they want to get rid of Train. Maybe they don't want to play SK on Train. Maybe looking over at Immortals, another map that they may not want to play now is Cash, because SK has obviously been fairly strong on Cash. And even though Immortals play it a good bit, they're not too shabby at it in their own right. Maybe they'll take this opportunity to just say, okay, we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Maps like Mirage and Train are probably their least played maps, so those are probably the two I would suspect that they would look at first to ban here.
Now, is there a world, like the current world we live in, not a simulation, where SK can just be good on every map? Like, they're coming back up, but obviously every team's going to have that weak map, but is SK still deadly on pretty much any map they play? If they started practicing Nuke, could they technically have the biggest map pool in all of Counter-Strike, almost?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's just about their current form. They have shown the ability to play almost every map in the pool except for Nuke right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, their Train isn't as dominant as it used to be, though I will say their most recent offline matches on Train actually have gone well. But like kind of when they first got the team together, their first few Train matches weren't as good. And obviously, they had that big winning streak. And Thorin did an article that said second most dominant map in CS:GO's entire history was SK's Train with the FNX lineup. So Train has kind of fallen off a little bit, I guess, still strong though. And the rest of their map pool is really good. Like they've really moved in the direction of Cash lately. That's kind of been one of the biggest changes in their map pool with Phelps. Their Mirage has kind of been revitalized. I mean, it's always classically been a good map for them, but they certainly did have their struggles for a little while. But it seems to be really back in form now with this five. And then Inferno is still kind of a mystery. It's the newest map in the pool, and since of this version that we have now, obviously it's a classic map. And I don't know that they've played it enough to really know exactly where they fit on that. And we haven't even seen them play that much Overpass either since Phelps joined. And obviously Overpass was always a big strength for SK as well alongside Train. But I'm not sure if it's going to be as strong with Phelps. We'll just have to see in time. But Mortal's taking their sweet time here to
Yeah,
figure
they
out
are.
what map they want to ban.
I wonder if having the discussion of do we ban to SK strength or do we ban to our weakness?
I mean, if
That's
we're
always a
honest,
fair,
what's
yeah,
actually happened here, someone from Immortals is probably
getting some food or something.
using the
Yeah.
restroom, and there's probably not a lot of deep discussion
Oh, there we
going
go.
on. But you never know. Could be.
Train.
They do ban Train. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense when you think about that's probably one of their least played maps as a five, including FNX. Obviously, that Zach's going to be playing today, but yeah, it's their least played map. Still a good map for SK, especially since we actually did see them use Train pretty well at Sydney. I think they won it both times they played it there against Optic and FaZe. So seem like they're getting that back in order. So definitely understandable ban. For SK, I would imagine their pick is going to be Cash or Mirage in a
Yeah.
situation like this. I would say Mirage would
Yeah.
probably be their first choice, considering Immortals map own map pool. I think Immortals have played Cash a bit more than Mirage, so maybe SK goes that route. But they could really go either way with this, Mirage or Cash, in my opinion.
And I guess maybe Immortals are thinking also, what map can we choose that's fairly well played and easy for Zach to fit in? I imagine he's just going to fit in like a support role, or he's just going to be first in. Like, I don't think he's going to fill the shoes of, obviously, FNX to the T.
If I'm Immortals, I'd definitely
So,
pick Inferno here. Like, there's really no
yeah.
doubt about it. That's definitely their most played map, probably their best map record-wise. So there really isn't much reason to not go ahead and grab Inferno.
Ooh, an overpass. Okay. Good old randomizer. I mean, if Cash came in there and that goes to bo3, that's SK. But is overpass more of a fair map for both teams in this situation, you think?
Say it again? Sorry.
Is overpass like a fair map for both these teams? Like, how's Immortals looking on overpass? Is that obviously if it was Cash, that's looking heavy SK Vito's side, but this looks a little more even, honestly.
Yeah, I think overpasses again. It's a little bit hard to know because I haven't seen SK play that much overpass since Phelps came on board, and with Immortals, yeah, this is definitely an Immortals team that have been really good on overpass actually online. Offline, it hasn't been as kind to them, but in the North American scene and online play, they've definitely been pretty good on it.
Look at those stats. That's from one bo3. Is that 45 frags and a bo3 for Fallen? That's kind of crazy.
Yep.
Everyone else is up there too. Like everyone from SK is pulling their weight when it comes to these online matches, and that's kind of been the story of SK, right? Getting back into form. Fallen's been getting up there, and we touched about it yesterday. Just how much Fallen was a key piece of this team, and when they made the change, it took a bit for Fallen. I don't know what exactly happened to the team, but it took a bit for him to build back up, and now he's becoming scary again. Someone you really don't want to face.
Yeah, again, I think when Phelps first joined, in a lot of their maps, in particular the Mirage, you saw him slide into more support positions to kind of really foster the Fur Phelps combo. And then obviously Taco still kind of keeps the same peripheral he's always had, and then Cold always kind of doing his thing. Like so Taco and Cold's roles haven't really changed. But Fallen definitely was the one that's probably took the biggest hit as far as his responsibilities in game to support guys like Fur and Phelps, particularly Phelps Edition. And so, yeah, his opping did definitely take a little bit of a plunge there for a while, but he looked really good at IM Sydney. Obviously looked good yesterday. So definitely that's great news to see Fallen, getting back into shape, so to speak. Because, again, when he was in his prime with the previous SK lineup, he was one of the best AWP players in the world, on top of being, like, the best in-game leader. And that combination really made him one of the biggest talents we actually had in the game when you consider all the responsibility that he had. He's playing a carry role because he's opping, and he's also, in-game leading and having to manage everything. So, yeah, definitely great to see that as we flip over to Immortals.
And there's the Immortals stack. Steel doing work as 55 frags, and that's 1 bo3 again also for these stats. Keep that in mind. And Zach, you can't really harp too much on it, being a coach, haven't played in a while. And I guess it's hard to fill the shoes of someone like FNX, right?
Sure.
Even though what's going on, even if FNX isn't playing well, he's still a beast in the server. So I'm curious to see how Zach's going to fit into this match, into this bo3, if they're going to use him almost like, as it might come off as BM or rude, but I'm just speculating. Maybe they'll use him as bait. Maybe he'll go out first. Maybe they'll just settle him into a support role because he knows all the smokes and knows all the flashes. You got to see it yesterday, so I'm not too sure exactly how that played out for him.
Yeah, he's filling in FNX's shoes, and depending on the map, FNX kind of did different roles. Like on certain maps, like Cash, he was more active, but then maybe on a map like Cobblestone, he would be still kind of in his old roles that he played on SK. So I think FNX's role has been kind of map dependent. Same with some of the other guys, thanks to FNX's addition. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they try to move him around. One of the biggest things is that Lucas had a really hot day yesterday as well. Like, obviously, we mentioned Steel. He did do really good. It's definitely good to see him putting up good numbers. I heard from some people that Bolt actually has been in-game leading lately for Immortals. I definitely know that was the case at DreamHack Austin. I did see him sitting at the center position of the desk, but I wasn't 100% sure if he was calling, but a lot of people are telling me that he was. So this maybe frees up Steel to perform a little bit better now that he doesn't have to worry about doing that. I do wonder about Bolt still because I know he's at different points in time been the in-game leader of this team. Like when Peacemaker first departed Tempo Storm, he kind of took over at that point. Didn't really like it. and that's why they picked up Zeus, because they wanted to get Bolts away from in-game leading and get him focusing on fragging again. So you have to kind of wonder the shifting of the in-game leader responsibility, how that affects the team. But yeah, also just a shout out to Lucas. He had a great day yesterday.
And with Zach playing, who knows? Maybe Zach will make some half-round calls, some start calls.
Yeah, sure. You would expect
might
him
help,
to.
so that might alleviate some pressure on Bolts. We might see him go toe-to-toe with SK without having to micromanage and work the chessboard and the pieces. So that might allow Bolts a little more freedom. And Zach, honestly, might just take that burden, knowing he's not going to be playing for long, just to alleviate pressure off his teammates.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm sure Zach will have a lot of influence because he is the coach, and being in game will now give him an opportunity to make sure that he's always able to communicate with his teammates. Whereas as a coach, there's obviously restrictions depending on where you're at. But the other thing is you don't want to completely take over in-game leading, because you want to make sure that your normal in-game leader continues to do what he's used to doing, and you don't, disturb that process, I guess is basically the best way to put it. So yeah, there's kind of a little bit of give and take on all of that.
So we are just waiting for everyone to get in the server and we'll get this one started. Again, the vetoes are on screen. First map is Mirage, SK's. Then we hop over to Inferno. That's Immortals. Nice choice where Dust said they've been looking good. It's the most played map recently, and they've been feeling comfortable on it. And the last will be Overpass, kind of an unknown entity when it comes to both of these teams. But if map number 3 is required, we'll get a little bit of a taste of it. As keep in mind, there is no losing bracket for the Subaru Invitational. So once you lose at BO3, you are out of it. And now a giveaway, Dust. Computer from Subaru Invitational. They're giving you a chance to win this awesome rig. It's valued over $2,000 and a bunch of mouse pads, $250 to be exact, for you to enter in. Links on screen, and there's also a banner below you can click on. And while we're talking about Subaru Invitational, it is the first one. So Subaru wants some feedback. You can use the hashtag Subaru Invitational and tweet at Subaru_USA to get your opinion heard. Let Subaru know what they can do better, what they can improve on, and what you really want to see Subaru do in the esports scene.
You can tell that he's bitter that it's not like Subaru Canada.
There is a Subaru Canada division. There is.
Maybe you'll
nice.
see something from them. You never know. Could be the case. But again, it's really cool to see a non-endemic sponsor come into the esports space and treat it right? I mean, they've kind of passed the reins over to us, let us do our thing that we normally do, haven't made any special requests or restrictions or anything like that. They just come in, they've realized it for what it is, they want to keep their product authentic, but just put their support behind it. So definitely cool to see them in the mix, and again, definitely give them a shout. See what else they can do. Maybe they'll do more CSGO tournaments. Maybe they'll, do other things. Never really know. But it's cool to see them, put together a cool little event. Nice prize pool for 2 days of online play. Not too shabby. Get to see all the top North American teams go head-to-head against each other right before the EPL finals. So definitely kind of a good barometer on where they're at going into that. And yeah, you have a chance to win some free stuff. But we are going to take just a short break as we get this match live. Just waiting for everyone to get in here. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be with some action very shortly.
Love.
I got you, baby.
It's being there when you're needed most. Love is knowing
He's the one.
it was meant to be. And love always keeps you safe.
We're fine.
Love is why we built a car you can trust, now and for a long time to come. The all-new Subaru Impreza sedan and 5-door. A car you can love, no matter what road you're on. The Subaru Impreza. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
Hey, bud, you need some help?
No, I'm good. Come on, Mom. I have to go.
We always trusted our Subaru Impreza would be there for him someday.
Hey, that's it.
We just didn't think someday would come so fast.
See you later, Mo.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Impreza, the longest-lasting vehicle in its class. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Subaru Invitational. SK Immortals map number 1, Mirage. Immortals will start on the CT side, while SK will get their start on the T side. Should be a good one, although Mirage is looking like SK's way. Inferno should be an interesting bout. But first, we have to get through Mirage.
Indeed we do, and this is a map that SK have looked very dangerous on with this 5. They really can put that aggression to great use with Phelps and Fur on middle in particular, so we need to look out for that. But in the pistol round, looks like they have this really big focus to just hit this A-bomb site, setting up some utility. Lucas will play up close, so you might have a chance to kind of blindside someone. No one's actually in this site, however. One player stares one connector, so if he goes down, the A-bomb site basically folds. There's no one CT spawn to stop the bomb planet.
That's a CT smoke. This is going to play from stairs. He's an upcoming connector. Lucas going to tap away. He's got 2 close ramp. And he's actually going to get a 3rd before he falls. Huge play from Lucas. He immediately types something in chat. Bolts will find Taco. Leaves it all on Cold. 1v4. Lucas locks it down. And Cold has a tall Hask in front of him. Minute 7 on the clock. They know exactly where he is. He's going to do his best with his USP. And look at this. That's 4 for Cold. All headshots. And now it's a 1v1 against Zach, the coach, the stand-in. And Cold is going to play time. He knows how much time's on the clock.
Holy Subaru, bro. I almost said another S word. But Lucas popped off with those 3 kills. That was insane. Like, he basically shut down the day push up close. They didn't check him. But then Cold just went absolutely bonkers. The only thing that really is harming him here is that he only has 7 HP. But there's no armor involved in all of this, obviously. So still, if he lands the 1 tap on Zach, it won't matter. Zach does have a kit as well, so this gives him extra time to wait this out. You know, really make sure he knows where the bomb is planted. Is he actually really checking A little bit, just making sure it's not there. But again, that kit buys him the extra time to rotate. It's all going to come down to who wins this duel. Could be the ace clutch for Cold.
Cold has to ace to pick up this pistol round for SK. They peeked him 1 by 1. And that was their downfall. Cold has 4. Zach's going to push on the side. He has 2 flashes and a kit. Keep that in mind as time starts to dwindle down. He's going to try to tap the bomb and bait Cold out, and Zach will win it. So the heartache is avoided, as Immortals are probably just high-fiving around the room.
Yeah, there was definitely a sigh of relief that had to go out in that team house because Cold almost reeled that one back in. Lucas did so much work in the early part of the round to basically seal it up for Immortals. And then Cold happened. Pretty good player.
Not shabby.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Did not happen to get it all the way through, though. So Immortals does still take the 1-0. We'll see how SK wants to play it out. They did get that bomb plant, so that does, in fact, get Cold and AK and head armor thanks to some of the kill money he got as well. So this means that they have a pretty dangerous force buy in the 2nd round. And none other than Phelps is getting sneaky in middle.
Yeah, he wanted to push through that smoke. He's going to elect to just fall down to bottom connector. And he's going to catch Henny while he reloads if he pushes through connector. They're doing a little ring around the rosy. He will catch Henny. And now he's going to continue to push forward. Gets spotted. But Bolts is close in this corner with a FAMAS. An unlikely weapon, and he's going to hit the floor. Look at this from SK with the pistols. They get themselves an AK and a FAMAS to work with. Phelps will push forward and find Zach. And it's all on steel in a 1v5 just like that. He gets one, but he's spotted, taking heavy damage. And he's running into someone, actually. So this round's getting a little comedic, but he is going to be able to get out of connector, throw a nade, but I think he's going to concede it.
He doesn't have a kit. There might be one drop somewhere. I'm not really sure, but he's obviously very low on HP. He does have Phelps down the 2, sure, but his chances of getting back in here are basically slim to none. And carrying this head armor and UMP over to the next round would definitely be a huge bonus to have, as obviously money's going to be very low, as SK has broken them right away here in the 2nd round. And really 2 things there. One, obviously Phelps is catching a great timing on the guy connector, just kind of listening, knowing that he's going to have to reload and just pushing at the correct time to capitalize on it. But it's also just the ability for Phelps and Fur to wreak havoc in jungle and window room, as well as ladder room. Just their ability to play middle, whether it's pushing through connector or just running down stairwell like Fur did from ramp and just getting inside window room. Their ability to create chaos there is just so difficult to manage. And it's one of the things that make this new SK so powerful with their aggressive play on this map.
So into this one, Immortals will force buy back. It's a similar start to what we saw yesterday when SK played on Mirage. Henny with a deagle in mid. Taco's going to take damage early. He's going to have to elect to fall back after getting the first pick. Bolts with his UMP won't find anything. SK get the 2 openers. Henny tagged at 10. He wants to repeat this. Trying to lock it down instead. Fur comes out on top as SKs just slowly start to pick across the map.
Hey, you're seeing a lot of just 1-4 base play from SK right now, whether it be one guy mid in 4A or 4 guys mid in 1A. Whatever it is, they're just really doing a lot of these 1-4 groupings. And this time around, they decide to put a lot of focus on middle, just run through connector. The bomb is going to go down. Zach is actually sneaking up through A ramp, so maybe he has a chance to prevent this bomb play, because further support for Cold actually is out of here. So Zach could win the 1v1 against Cold and just, you know, really stop this, but he loses that battle. Cold has the AK, puts him down. So SK has secured another round.
Steel, 11 HP. Gonna try to challenge Phelps here. Phelps will come out on top. Steel is very tagged. So SK pick up a second. Immortals, I don't believe they're gonna force back to this one. Probably maybe some pistols and a couple players who have more money. But outside of that, looks like it is just gonna be an eco round. So time for SK to get their footing and kind of just a relaxing reset round, unless Immortals create havoc of their own.
Yeah, this is the point where, you know, Immortals trying to say that UMP and buy a round. It doesn't really work out. So in this round, they basically have to concede. You know, you're seeing 4 guys on USPs, no armor involved, just Steel with the CZ. So this should just be a clean mop-up round for SK Gaming, much like the previous round was. They only lost 1 member last round, so they're saving up a lot of money, not having to do a lot of rebuying. Just handle this one with ease is going to be the goal, and that's exactly how it plays out. Again, they only lose 1 player, so they have a lot of money pulled up, and they have the 3-1 lead.
May see an op purchased here. Phelps may buy it and drop it over and do a little swap. They may just stick with this high pace, high momentum kind of game they're running with right now, where they've been doing a lot of mid control. And Immortals, although they'll have weapons now and an op out on Zach, that's a spawn thing, I imagine.
Yeah, this is probably the most aggressive I've ever seen SK have been. I mean, they started out, you know, being a team that played it like Navi style, like very slow, methodical, and then they kind of started to find a middle ground over time. And now with this 5, the aggression really has come to the forefront of this team, particularly on this map and Cash. You know, they just really like to get in your face, particularly at mid early, and just really just try to bully you around with guys like Phelps and Fur, who kind of thrive in being in forward positions and playing fast. Now, we do see Immortals getting very aggressive at middle this time. He's actually pushed all the way up to the top of Cat. Phelps actually played very passive this time around, usually not doing this, but he's held back, and Henny actually will pick him off, and that he actually evens things up, and First kind of isolated now in underpass.
Ooh, Henny wins the second one. He doesn't need an op. His M4 is dealing damage. Steel in mid-window will fallen. Poor word choice on my part, but he will die. Steel falls. As it's 3-1, 20 HP on Fallen, 31 on Cold. Lucas, not sure how that panned out.
That makes actually no sense.
What, did he peek triple and? Oh,
I have no
weird.
Understanding of what happened there.
Weird.
That's a very weird TK. No one even was really near that from the T side.
Huh.
Yeah, I wish we could see a replay of that, but it looked really weird. Because obviously Taco's in Palace, no one else, no tiers is even really nearby there. So now Lucas has it all to do over here at A. He goes down. It's going to be a 1v2 now for Zach with the 8
He has no armor, and there's a molly in front of him. Double scope for the cross. Able to catch Cold. Fallen's tagged, and Zach, ooh, that bullet just misses. Fallen will put him down. But that was close, and you got to think, if that TK doesn't come out, Immortals still have a lot of presence on A's site, and that way Lucas doesn't have to push down into
A lot of
ramp.
times TKs are just funny, but they don't necessarily have a massive impact on the round, because maybe you still wind up getting a few kills against your opponent in the process. You know, like the classic when your teammate strays into your crosshair while you're shooting your opponent, and you kill both of them or whatever. And so in that sense, it doesn't really affect you that much, especially since the money penalty isn't as bad as it used to be. But that round, it certainly harmed them, as we are seeing another basically just eco round here from Immortals, and again SK farming up with Fur on that MAC-10, getting even more money in the war chest of SK, which is already fairly substantial. That's just Steel and Zach remain.
Fur wants to push for more. He'll get it. That's a 3K for him with that MAC-10 to farm up. Steel with just a CZ and 5 members of SK trying to look for him. Phelps playing this catwalk position beautifully. We'll clean him up in the end. Upgrade his pistol if he wishes, as SK will be up 5-1. Immortals will have a buy. And it's interesting that Zach got the op in the last buy they could get. And this time it is going to get thrown over to Henny. So Henny will have the full glass cannon op with smoke, and Zach will go to a rifle.
And the money's so low on Immortals, though. Look at this. They've bought down to $0 on 3 players, and Bolt's just on 50. Lucas not that far ahead. So obviously if they lose this round, they're right back to saving. Even with max loss bonus, the amount they could buy is just not a lot. So they need to make this round work. And SK are wasting no time, again, just getting up connector as fast as possible. But Immortals, they're shutting it down. Great maneuver by Bolts there to get those 2 kills.
Taco has to be careful. Utility thrown his way while Fallen comes out a ramp, taps away Lucas. And that's opener to A, and he immediately just holds, waits for Immortals to repeak it, seeing if anyone else will take face and try to challenge Fallen while Taco will sit up in Palace and hold for the stairs peek. But look how careful Immortals are being about this. The respect they're giving to SK, they say, you can move into the site. We're just going to sit and wait for you.
Yeah, I mean, they have plenty of kits and utility to... I mean, trying to plant the bomb, they had that one smoke from Taco. That could block CT spawn, and maybe that lets you get a default plant. But otherwise, you're going to have a lot of trouble trying to get this bomb out.
Steel doing a great job while just peeking from CT. Henny finds Taco out of Palace. Was it all in Fallen on a 1v4? 50 seconds. Steel's going to peek, and that will shut it down. So Immortals, their money may have been low, but they keep 4 members alive.
Yeah, SK trying to brandish that aggression once more, really shifted it into high gear, moving through middle so rapidly into connector, but Bolts really did a great job shutting it down. That's 2 of the 3 kills he's got this game, was in that one round, so definitely impact frags, despite the fact that, you know, the total frag count isn't really there. Really not there for anyone on Immortals, to be fair. They've had a tough time in this game thus far, but that's a big round to win because it kind of bails them out because their money was so low and they only had to rebuy 1 player as far as guns go in this round. Obviously rebuying a lot of utility, so it still taps into their wallets and they have to fear their money being reset. But at the very least, they got that round pretty clean. Now they have it at 2-5 as we do see SK kind of slowing it down just a bit. Still definitely a lot of focus on middle. This is one of those rounds where you're seeing Fallen play B apartments to kind of free up Fur, Phelps, and Cold to work middle. But he actually will swing back around mid in his own right now. So, again, a lot of these 1-4 setups from SK.
Lucas almost saved Henny in time. Instead, it's going to be a trade as there's going to be trades across the map. Even it back up at a 3 members apiece. And SK, really, this is good for the T side if you can even it back up. And it looks like they're going to slowly gain connector control. There's 2 players in sight from Immortals. Lucas from default going to catch Fur peeking, and he's going to molly it off, so Fallen's going to have to fall back. Cold gets picked from Zach and CT, and that window player of Bolts will shut down Fallen in the end. Immortals, they string a couple rounds together. Not going to go for the double ops, but again, to keep 3 members alive, going to push that economy that was in the dumpsters a couple rounds ago, even more on a pedestal.
Yeah, they're definitely shaping up that money well, and they're dealing with connector very well. It's probably the biggest thing you've noticed in these last couple of rounds. Even if SK are taking mid control, Immortals are not letting them just pour into connector and overwhelm the A-bomb side. So they're really starting to put a stop to that. Bolts has been pretty key in all that. That round is almost a team ace. You know, you had 4 players involved from Immortals defending in that round, and so yeah, definitely better stuff at middle from Immortals. As I say that, though, of course, Caster's Curse, Fallen gets the opening pick on the Henny at window room, and so SK get to work with a very quick 5-on-4 advantage. We do see some aggression in B apartments from Immortals. Maybe they're trying to look to even the odds, but Cold, he's posted up. He's waiting for this.
Zach's going to come around the corner first. Actually, it looks like Steel's going to take the lead, and he'll lose his life. Zach's going to try to repeat with a pre-fire, but Cold is all over it. That crosshair placement is impeccable, as he'll clean them both up. Molly into market. He spots Bolts, and Bolts is going to try to hold from backdoor. He will shut down Cold. As the bomb is here alone, Fallen, look where his teammates are. He's alone towards B. If Bolts can clean up this kill, that's bombed down. He might be able to hold on to it, but Fallen's allowed to re-peek as Lucas is alone on the A site. Good timing on this peek. Ooh, but can't clean up the spray in time. Fur finds it.
And then that round, just everything went wrong for Immortals. You know, they lose the mid-pick battle. They try to even it up by doing an aggressive push at B apartments, but Cold's there waiting for them with open arms, embraces them with a couple of nice AK headshots, and the round's pretty much over at that point. And so all that work that Immortals did to start creeping back into the game to get their economy in order has basically been shattered. Because now they already have to go to a force buy on pistols, because while they did have a little bit of money, it wasn't on everyone. They only had a couple of guys that had enough money to afford to buy. They don't want to do something broken. They want to make sure they can buy together. They're going to have to kind of concede a bit on this round. They do get an equal exchange to open as things begin to slow down.
It's an interesting push from Henny with the CZ. You have to have a lot of confidence to go for that kind of push with the CZ, especially against a team like SK who can read the situations perfectly, and they are just going to play their just safe positions across the map, while Fur contemplating pushing up Catwalk. Lucas, keep an eye on him. He's sitting in the cubby by connector, as Cole's just going to hold this deep smoke. Zach's going to get himself in kitchen, so SK just going to hold back, see if any more pistols will push, and I imagine them grouping up is going to be the call shortly.
Yeah, Fur has a lot of control here now, being able to get into ladder room like this and keep eyes on window, perhaps even being able to go into window room if he wanted to. The Phelps actually timed out. That's a big problem, and unfortunately there's nothing we can do about it because it happened mid-round after kills have already been exchanged, and the rule is you can't redo a round unless it's just a 5-on-5 and no damage has been done yet. So that's really unfortunate. SK looks like they'll be able to deal with it, though. They actually brute force their way through B apartments still. They have a 3-on-2. Steel, though, able to get the jump on Fur, but he's going to get quickly traded by Coldzera, and that bomb is going to go down. So fortunately for SK, despite the unfortunate circumstance of Phelps dropping in the middle of a round, they still have a manageable 1v1 situation here, as Cold will finish it with a hat trick. So a lot of adversity being faced by SK there, and they still come out ahead and keep that lead rolling. It looks like we will probably have a pause. We'll wait for Phelps to get back in here.
So SK, they've been fighting for this mid control, and they've been getting it relatively for free from Immortals. Even when they have the op, SK have been doing a great job using their utility smoke out connector, smoke out mid window early, get top mid control, and kind of fight with it. But SK have done a good job of, even when they don't go for mid control, just throwing that top mid smoke to keep pressure, keeping a player there to just apply a little bit while they work their default. So it's hard to get a read on SK, especially on Mirage right now, and I think Immortals are learning that. But you mentioned it, they are doing a great job of fighting connector when SK do start to work their way up.
Yeah, that's been like the biggest shift whenever they actually did win those couple of rounds they got in the middle of the half, was based on defending connector very well. But now their money's being drained again, and SK are starting to win a lot of opening duels. Particularly some of these mid picks now from SK are starting to come through. Before they would get mid control, but Immortals would stay alive. Now Immortals are losing members in these initial skirmishes over in middle. This could be one of them again, but Bolts holds on. Good headshot there with the P250 onto Cold. SK though starting to trade it right back as they have again a lot of control. In fact, they have cleared out the B bomb site entirely.
Yeah,
But the bomb is the problem. Like, they have to go back and get it.
I think that's what Fallen's mission is right now. Running back with the op. They sent Fur forward. Fur and Taco both going to find a frag apiece. Zach last up in mid window. His CZ not going to be on point as he will fall. SK get 8. Immortals will get a buy here. We'll see what it's going to consist of, I imagine. It will consist of an op. Zach's going to throw that over to Henny. He'll have that for mid window. But again, SK have been doing a great job of countering Henny. They haven't given him too many ins when it comes to mid.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when you have constant smokes on window, the only thing he can really do is try to move to a site or maybe try to peek connector if he has a good spawn for it. And you do see Henny actually is going to be looking for that A ramp pick this time. He's actually just kind of slowly peeking it out. And now he'll move towards connector to see what he can find. As we actually have Fallen boosted up over a cat, so we're looking to see if someone will peek window. It could be very tricky. They intentionally don't smoke window to give Fallen a chance to take a duel on an Opera who might look to take advantage of the fact there's no smoke there. That battle will not happen, though, as Henny just kind of holds a little bit more passively in connector this time around.
Looks like Cold's going to push up into B apps. I imagine Fallen's going to go for his typical crouch peeks up here and towards B apps. Maybe just peek underpass. Cold likes to go for these aggressive B apps holds / peeks. And if Zach gets caught jump spotting, it could spell doom, as Fallen loves to hit that shot. Steel gonna go ahead and whip a molly. As SK use a little bit of utility here. Smoke out get right. So Cold and Fallen throw a little bit of a fake and a fall back underpass immediately. Now the pressure's on Taco and Fur. This may even be a double fake, as SK are just trying to get Immortals moving.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a great job of making the CT scramble. They think this is a fake on the B bomb site. Steel does pick up on Phelps mid lurk. And now you have Taco and Fur all of a sudden actually engaged in the A bomb site. So this could still really go either way. With that bomb obviously is committed to the B bomb site. So indeed it is a double fake, as you were mentioning. But Zach hasn't bid on it just yet. He's still sitting inside the site with the M4 posted up, waiting for them to push through. So this may not really work out for SK. They got the rotation, but Zach still could stop this.
Oh, Zach spots Cold. He'll deal some damage. Fallen's holding for the repeat. Is Zach going to oblige and go ahead and take it? That Molly's going to force it. Just misses the shot. It's Cold, and Zach staying alive so long and wins that duel. 16 seconds now for Cold to find him and pick up the bomb, but Steel. Rotations from Catwalk's on time. Taco going to just hang back as Immortals not but taking the bait. They hold on.
Yeah, again, Zach held his ground and he won his fight against Fallen, and that obviously kind of sealed it up for Immortals. I mean, SK did a great job pulling rotates, but they also lost a lot of members in their process. Like Phelps going down the middle, for instance, was really huge. If he stays alive, he's able to get up Catwalk and kind of assist Fallen, who's coming out of B apartments. Maybe that plays out a bit differently. But with him going down and Zach being disciplined, there's just no way for SK to get that double fake working. But, of course, still plenty of money to buy up in this round, and they still have a fairly comfortable lead.
You see Fur head towards B early. Fallen this time going for the ramp pick. Spots a player crossing towards stairs. Can't find the shot. Henny's in mid. Gonna smoke underpass. He's contemplating taking the top mid peak, but Phelps will take the head off the Steel early towards Catwalk. Lucas, this is an interesting angle. Staying on top of the ladder. Taco may be able to spot him first. Won't be able to. As Fur back towards connector with his own pop flash finds Bolts. As SK, they get the A2 openers. Lucas feels pressured to push. And he will get one as Immortals are going toe-to-toe, but SK are just coming out on top right now.
Yeah, a lot of fights being won by SK all across the board. Now, they have a 3 versus 2. Henny, though, evening it up. It's a great kill with the AWP, but Lucas actually takes a lot of damage from that fire. So now he's down to 17. Meanwhile, B's completely taken by Fallen. He's just holding, though. He's not looking at the plant just yet. He knows that Taco's not really around to cover him when he actually goes for the plant. We actually could see a fight here. Henny's hearing Taco run through. He could get behind him, and this could be a big problem for SK.
It will turn into that. Henny deals with Taco. Now it's all on Fallen. Taco wanted to get in the site and help Fallen out. And now it's all on Fallen on 1v2. Lucas is tagged. He's down to 17. Fallen with the op. Is that a smoke actually from the CTs, I believe? Or was that Fallen through that when he planted and then the flash came through? Okay, so that was what I was looking at. As Fallen has to worry about both positions. Gets the first engagement against Henny and gets away clean. Lucas now, his position unrevealed. And Fallen just going to hold the angle, misses the shot, down to 19. Lucas is pushing in, making a ton of noise, but Fallen's not taking the bait that he was pushing into sight. And Fallen will clean that one up.
Yeah, that got really scary when Taco actually gets caught by Henny's pushing the underpass. It's a lot of weight on Fallen's shoulders, but he manages it just fine, and he puts a 9th round on the board for SK. Only a couple rounds left in this half, and SK have been absolutely dominant. They've never really let Immortals streak rounds together. Every time that Immortals has won a round, they basically had their economy reset. I mean, they win pistol, reset. Win a couple of rounds, immediately reset. Just won a round, reset again. Like, it's just a nightmare to have to deal with that if you're Immortals on the CT side of a map like this. Good kill, though, from Steel getting aggressive at underpass.
That was a sick flash from his teammate in window. Henny threw that pop flash beautifully, and Steel just peeked. He called that he heard footsteps. Great teamwork there from Immortals. Fallen's going to be posted on mid-window, waiting for a repeat. While Taco works out towards A, spots Lucas at default, cleans him up and gets away before Bolts can trade it back out. Oh, that nade actually just going to land behind him. I was going to say, he might take a little bit of nade damage, but not the case. As SK keep bomb towards top mid, Taco's allowed a little more room to work with, but he'll finally go down.
So Immortals actually do have the edge in this round, despite the fact that they were kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel to put a buy together. They now have a 4-on-2. So really great work from Steel. He's gotten all the kills this round for his team. Done fantastic work. He might even have a chance to get a 4th here on Cold as he pushes through the smoke. Could get awkward. They're right next to each other. Steel is the one to realize it first. And so that's the quad kill. He could even ace. There's a chance if he engages Fallen that he might be able just to finish it off himself, but now he's going to start kind of pushing through A ramp, so likely won't meet Fallen. Fallen, in the meantime, just is slipping through all the cracks. Going to get to that B bomb site. There could be some sneaky stuff happening here as he's got some time to check things. At some point, he probably goes for the plant inside B, and that's when Zach and Henny can kind of converge on him.
18 seconds. Fallen's going to plant, actually. He's going to go ahead and take the safe plant at default. Immortals aren't close to the B site yet. I think they're going to be aware of it at this point, as Steel should call that it's not A. Rotations begin. And he's going to wait for his teammates not to give Fallen individual one-on-ones to pick him apart. As Fallen is just going to wait in sight. Flash comes out. Fallen's just going to wait this one out. Spot it. And what a flick down from Fallen to bring it just to a 1v2. He gets to bench. Going to repeat this. Finds another one. Now it's a 1v1 against Zach and Fallen. He'll do it for SK. It was looking good for Immortals, but you can never count out Fallen.
Yeah, especially, I mean, it's just how calm he is in that situation. He's in a 1-on-3. There's no way he can really know if he's going to get pushed from B apartments or catwalk. He has to worry about market. He has so many responsibilities that he has to think about in his head to make sure he closes the round. Yet he just kind of calmly takes his fights, repositions himself, you know, tries to check things, you know, tries to prepare himself, and then he just, you know, lets it flow. You know, he just calmly and collectedly moves his way through it. Big round for Fallen. Immortals, they keep giving themselves chances in early round situations lately where they don't seem to be able to finish the job. Fallen's clutched him twice in a row now. Starting to put him up at big numbers on the scoreboard as well, next to Coldzera and Fur.
Phelps is about to work up catwalk. He's holding for this peek from Bolts, as Bolts make contact with, I believe that is Taco, like normal, towards Palace. As Taco's going to slowly start to make contact, Molly under balcony, work out himself. Henny sitting himself in connector, waiting for a peek from SK. That's a deadly angle, especially with the UMP. SK have done a good job of clearing it, and this time Henny gets spotted, dealt with early. Immortals have 1 UMP and just pistols left to work with a minute 2 on the clock. Bolts will get spotted from Phelps. Ringer of a headshot through the wall as Taco and coldzera start to make presence towards A now.
Yeah, last round of the half, and things are looking good for SK, but Lucas trying his damnedest to fight back. Does get the 1 deagle headshot in the cold, but quickly traded out. A has been completely controlled by SK. The bomb will make it there soon. May not even matter, though. May just come down the frags at this point as Phelps is cutting off this rotation from Market.
Phelps. He plays this angle so well. We saw it yesterday how well he just plays catwalk and being a nuisance to users in mid-window. And this is a prime example. He kept Steel there for so long, spots him, even deals some damage. Fallen's just going to hold for the repeat. Steel may pick up an AK, but that's all he'll get. SK, a great T-half, picking up 11 and 4. And, I mean, a couple of those rounds were tilting towards Immortals' way until Fallen just did what Fallen does best.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple of rounds there that you think Immortals should win. That maybe they should win that 3v1 against Fallen inside the B-bomb site. They also, I think, had a 2v1 against Fallen at the same site and in the previous round. So could have easily been 6-9 at the very least if Immortals closes out those rounds. But again, there was a lot of dominance from SK, particularly in the early part of that half. And they won they won 5 rounds in a row there from round 2 forward. Had another 3-round streak after that. It's just great how much they can change pacing. Like this lineup allows them to be more aggressive and to be more rapid in their pacing, but they still have those roots of playing slow with the core 4 of this team, and so that's still a possibility for them. And then moving Fallen's AWP around, he still has the ability to be like really diverse and mobile. So they have a lot they can go to. Deep playbook works out great, but look at this huge rush into B from Immortals to kick things off.
All 5 members are going to push out on the site. Henny gets shut down from Taco. A good trade coming in. coldzera, can he spin around and clean up this player bench? That's not going to be the case. As Phelps rotates quick and tries to find something for his troubles. It's not going to happen. As it's Fallen again. Smoking at Kit in a 1v3. Doesn't have an op, but his USP. Kind of like a mini op if he finds these headshots. Instead, Lucas pushes behind him. So Immortals, they're just going to turn up the pace themselves on the pistol round.
Yeah, Taco actually handled that situation pretty well, all considering. But just the follow-up wasn't really there from SK. Great take from Immortals, just kind of overwhelming that site, really shutting things down, not allowing those rotates to set in. No chance for a retake, and so they will get round number 5. So they've actually won both pistols this game. But last half, they were unable to follow it up, and it was a 5-round retreat from SK after they won pistols. So they'll hope to not allow that to happen, because if they do, it'd be game over if the deja vu sets in.
They don't have Tech 9s, but they have 5.7s. As Fallen has his scout full blind. I imagine he'll repeat this. Well, not now he can't with the smoke there. Burr is sitting in Cubby. Looks like Lucas is aware of it. He's going to clear it for spots, but out of bullets is Lucas, and Burr cleans it up. Bolts will find him in the end, but SK trade 1 for 1, and Cold through the wall. Catches Steel. I think it goes towards Catwalk. That's a deadly shot for him to hit, as Immortals are now a man down, and SK Gaming, they have some room to work with, and look at the flank.
Yeah, they have the man advantage. They are moving all around the map. They have that flank, as you noted, from Phelps, and he's the trigger discipline. He's waiting patiently. Does strike, catches Zach switching guns.
Woo!
Takes him down so low, but Zach does win the fight in the end. So he at least evens it back up to a 3-on-3. Doesn't allow that advantage to tilt any more towards SK just yet, but Fallen has a scout. So deadly. He just gets the chip there onto Bolts, making it easier for Taco and Cold to perhaps finish him off, as there could be a window boost, but Cold's waiting with the deagle.
Wow, his trigger discipline not to shoot those players under a window is nuts. And he's looking for the 4th with this deagle. He's going to peek again on a Bolts. You know he is. As Bolts will take care of Cold, Taco will find the last. But for Cold not to shoot at the players under window and go ahead and clean up the player catwalk first is such clean decision making.
Yeah, he knows that they're busy trying to do a boost, so there's no chance for them to really do much as he goes for the cat kill. So again, just thinking that all the way through. And now Immortals have won both pistols, but they've been denied both times in the second round. That's just going to set them back economically, obviously. They will force buy into this right away, trying to see if they can't chase after it, get that scrappy start going. Phelps will peek middle into some pistols from Immortals, and Bolt does get that 1-tap on the Fallen on the other side of the map.
That's one way to start it off. Lucas going to try to answer to find another clean kill for his team, but he runs out of bullets. Phelps will peek to save Fur. As Cold is going to play towards Catwalk. Immortals get the opener, but immediately trade. Phelps is playing a dangerous game with these peeks. Steel's waiting for it. He instead finds Cold, who peeked from ladder room. Phelps needs to get out of here. He's going to get one more for the road. That's 3. But but he's so low he can't afford a re-peek. And then nade actually comes in from Bolts as he jumps out of Palace. This is going so back and forth. Look at this. Bolts finds Fur. Now it's just a 1v1, and they know exactly where each other are. And Bolts is taking his peek 9 out of 10 times. This time Taco wins it, but what a hectic round.
I actually got a little bit scared there for a second because the bomb's actually down at the back of Catwalk. Now, Taco didn't know that, and that's why he goes for the fight. He probably assumes that he has the bomb actually inside A. I don't know if they had the information that the bomb had gotten dropped back there. So it almost got a little bit scary. If Taco would have had that info, he doesn't even have to take that fight. He can just hold the bomb. But again, I don't think that information was out there. So no harm, no foul. Doesn't wind up mattering. SK up 13-5.
The MP9 on Fur. You love it. I think farms up.
Oh, yeah. He is the king of the MP9 on Mirage.
It's crazy when he can do that thing. Because Immortals will have no armor, just pistols. And SK are more than happy to take the peaks towards top mid. It is just going to be a slaughter. Steal at least gets one for the road. Almost finds Fallen, who's just going to give chase with his USP. No fear in his heart. SK get to 14. Immortals, if we take a look at the money, they'll get a buy, but it won't include an up. So they won't have that pressure across the map.
A little bit limited on utility as well. And one of the great things about this SK team is they haven't really had to do that much adjusting on the CT side of Mirage. They pretty much kept all the same positions. Felt slots into A just fine in place of F and X, and so there's a lot of familiarity there for this team. A lot of fluency on the map as a CT team that, you know, you still have that Taco Cold combo at B. You still have Fallen doing his thing. So it works out nicely for them as they are just a couple of rounds away from locking this one up, taking that 1-0 series advantage. This is probably Immortals' best chance to come back in. This is going to be the best buy that they're going to get. Next round will obviously be a lot less than this. They lose.
So they actually double smoke mid window. So they're one smoke less than for what they have now for an execution. They would have had another one. Instead, the double smoke comes through. Fallen's waiting on A site. Playing by default for holding down connector with his MP9. And Immortals just gain mid control and they just sit on it. They just wait, hoping SK come and take these aggressive gun battles like they've been doing so far on the CT side. Not going to be the case in this round. SK are willing to concede that, and they're holding the exit points. As Zach slowly works his way up connector. Fur gonna flash, but he gets caught. Zach can't hit the shots. Phelps locks it down in the meantime. Fallen may need some help towards sight, but look at his movement. He's so good at getting under balcony safely. As he gets peeked from Henny, he will finally fall. Fur, this MP9 will find one. As we're back into a 3v3 all of a sudden.
Yeah, he does pick up the M4 as well. Now he's swinging around CT spawn. He won't get there in time to stop the bomb plan or disrupt that at all, but this is a very wide choke point that he can angle out. We are seeing Bolts being found out on the balcony. Cole taking this fight, wins it, so that gives them the one-man advantage coming into the rest of this retake, and they have the kits as well that have extra time.
Taco, wow, how does Zach spin around? The coach spins around and shuts down Taco. Surely had both dead to rights, and the bomb's planted for him too. As he's gonna play from Tetris, wins another battle, 18 bullets. Zach still got it in him, as he'll clutch it out for Immortals, a 1v3.
Yeah, definitely a clutch there. He had a clutch to close out the Liquid series yesterday. So, nice little maneuver there to keep his team alive in this one, as obviously things have been spiraling out of control for quite some time, but winning that round gives them a lot. The biggest problem is, though, is that they have to rebuy a lot. They don't really have that much money, so Luke is just on a Deagle, Bolt's on a Galil, so definitely very limited on what they had to work with in this round.
Steal. Smoke balloons in front of him. A nade comes in. Just hold behind it. Try to get lucky and maybe hit Taco, who has a UMP. Gonna hold the smoke himself. The bank 7's out on Fallen as well. He's number 6 in mini map, and he's made the aggressive push in towards a ramp, hoping someone from Immortals makes presence there. But Immortals with a similar game plan that they've had in similar rifle rounds where they go for late mid control, one player holding B, and putting Bolts on this kind of hoping to catch a player rotating out of A to help out mid kind of situation.
Yeah, the only saving grace for Immortals here is that SK are also a little bit limited on what they had to work with as well. Obviously, the UMP on Taco, Phelps just on a CZ, Fallen on the Mag 7. So that does help them out a bit here as they do get a little bit of mid-control going on here. And actually, Zach spots out Fur in the corner. That's a good pickup by him, good awareness just to clear that out, as Fur was one of the main guys that had a strong weapon, right? He was one of the 2 guys that had an M4, and he's already out. There's really no way for Phelps to go and grab it just yet. There's no safe way for him to slide in there, as Bolt actually presses out A. Like, he has full control. Fault actually pushed A ramp. They're just going to bypass him for now. He could pose a threat later on the flank or something.
Phelps runs out of bullets in his CZ. Taco's on the rotation. He's on 21, but Bolts is pushed in towards CT spawn. So they've kind of swapped position where Fallen's pushed A ramp. A site's conceded. There's one player in CT. Taco going to slowly work his way in. I imagine Cold is just going to stay towards Catwalk. Maybe try to find some frags, help his teammates out. But if they don't get one soon, I don't see them going for this. Just going to play the exit game. As
Yeah,
Fallen's
trying to
gonna work
retake
his
with a
way
Mag
in,
7
yeah.
is going to be really difficult. You can't really take a lot of ranged battles. And now Taco's out as well. So, yeah, saving is very likely now at this point, as their money is quite low on SK. And they bought down to $0 on Cold and Fallen.
What I actually found interesting in that round is, although there's no way for SK to punish it, Immortals missed 2 mid-window smokes. They went for the one early. It missed. It landed in the corner. Then they missed a second one close up. Just a little note. Obviously, that happens. But if SK had something to punish it, I think they would have. But I think the player in mid-window only had a CZ, so not much they can do.
Could certainly play an effect in the future if your set smoke isn't working out and you don't even realize it. Obviously, the one you throw from under is kind of on the fly, and that can always be botched, I guess. But if you have like a set one that you're throwing from top, middle, or spawn or something like that and it isn't working, then yeah, it certainly could come into effect later. As Cold will hold on to that M4 head armor. Fallen, of course, still has the Max 7. Everyone else, though, taking a save. Again, money very low on SK, but they certainly have a lot of breathing room to take saves like this without really feeling too much pressure. They do have a solid lead. Always looking to see if they can't close that gap. A good opener by Bolts to kick things off.
Immortals just going to do a similar setup they've done before. 1 player A, 3 mid, 1 B. They know the situation SK are in. Fur, they catch Bolts off guard, though, with Phelps pushing behind. If Fur can keep Bolts here, that flank's going to be deadly. The nade will explode at Fur's feet. Down to 46, he'll fall. Keep it on number 7 as Phelps flanking with the Silence USP. Cold 0 with the armor and M4. Flank towards jungle. Zach spots him, and Cold's going to take this peek. Kind of has to make a play right now in this situation, and he will just take it with Lucas. Lucas wins it for mollied out, and that's going to be the round unless Taco's Deagle shows up, and it's not going to be the case with no armor. He'll hit the dirt, and Immortals starting to shift this one back. SK have rounds to work with, though.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, SK has been on low buys the last couple of rounds, so, you know, that definitely has played into Immortals' hands, but now they're going to be up against a little bit more substantial buy from SK. I mean, it's still not ideal. I mean, you got 3 UMPs in the mix. You don't have the AWP in Fallen's hands. This is a team that likes to do double AWP with Cold and Fallen, and that's obviously not an option on the board right now, but still certainly enough to pose a real threat as Cold's already up at top boxes, and Fallen's there to support him. I think Lucas has spotted this. He's definitely waiting for Cold to peek, and they'll even use a Molotov to flush Cold out. But a smoke comes in, and so Cold will hold his ground, and again, he still does have support from Fallen.
It's a weird round. SK is going to try to fight head on. Fallen gets it, as Cold's going to be able to get out of there. So it looked like Cold was dead, 100%, but good teamwork coming in from Fallen. Taco will look up in the right time, only able to get one. Zach, who's really turning up for Immortals right now, gets another entry kill, and he's going to plant the bomb while Zach will just sit back bench. And look at the HP on Fallen and Cold. Damage has been dealt from Immortals, but look at that shot from Fallen.
Oh, man.
Down goes Zach. Fallen is heating it up, as Henny going to pick up the mantle from Zach back bench, spots Fur out. And Bolts is late on the rotation in towards B-Apps, and the bomb is planted for him. As Bolts going to find Phelps, as they're going toe-to-toe. The flank's coming through from Cold. They both have kits, but time is starting to dwindle down a ton. As Immortals aren't peeking. SK, the pressure's on them, and they will clean both up, and there will be enough time for the defuse to come through. It's going to be tight, but SK, they'll get 15.
Yeah, they handled that mid situation really well. I mean, Fallen actually gets a kill and Cold gets out alive, so that really helped them hold on to the man advantage early in the round. And then Taco gets a kill, at least, you know, making sure that he keeps his team a little bit ahead, gives SK some time to get in position for the retake. Still difficult, though, like you noted. A lot of low HP players, but SK still pulled through. And now they're at map point. I'll have 7 attempts to put this map away and go into Inferno. Pick up Immortals with a lead in the series. See what Immortals has in store, though. Can they march it forward? Can they force the OT? They have a really good buy here, including hitting with the AWP. And what a nice little play from Bolts. He can do the smoke on Fallen.
Catches them default. And not only that, now Immortals have mid control, and Cold might feel pressure to try to push this smoke that's holding him back at Catwalk right now. And it looks like he is just going to fall back to the safety of ladder room, try to hold underneath window while Phelps tries to help out Fur towards connector. Minute 20. And Cold Zero, he's died to this position before. Immortals knows how much Cold Zero likes to fall into this spot when they're a man down and worry about window as well as catwalk. And they spotted him out. That molly's going to force him down into the ladder room. And now he just has to sit there and wait it out. He's kind of a sitting duck. Needs some help from some teammates. As Fur pushes down Connector. About to take an engagement. Lucas is going to wide swing in a beautiful trade. Yeah, Cold will strike from catwalk now. So he times that beautifully. With 51 seconds, Henny's going to now know the A site's clear. As SK, Cold was in a good spot. Just heads up play for Immortals to molly it and try to force him in an awkward spot.
Yeah, we'll see if Cold can pick up on Seal and get this quickly back into a 2-on-2. Taco does have a kit, so does Cold, so that gives him a bit more time to work with, but all Steel just steps out, deletes Cold's era, and there's just not really any light at the end of the tunnel for Taco at that point, as he will go down, and Immortals, they hang on. They push it to 9, and they have SK in basically a save, or at least a very low buy, so there's a great chance they'll hit double digits now. And if they keep chipping away at rounds like this, eventually they will pose a real threat to force an overtime. They're not quite there yet, but, you know, if they can get to like 12 rounds or so, then all of a sudden you have to really start considering it to be a real possibility.
Now, I wonder if SK, they're going to be double saving here, so they won't have enough for the up. So we may see an up later on in the later stages of this game, but it's not going to come out anytime soon, as this is a reset. So they only get 1,400 here. You mentioned the Force, so that's a UMP, a Scout, and Immortals already have the B-side entry. Fallen with his Scout will tag it. Hits the shoulder, and he is just going to fall back. SK, I think an immediate save call comes out.
Yeah, there's really no way for them in. No kits, no utility. Saving these guns is great, but Bolt is actually hanging out in T-spawn, trying to stop that gun from being saved, as he does take one out. Fallen will hold the Scout, though. They also have head armor to save, which is definitely worthwhile to carry over, and the CZ can certainly be a factor the next round as well, so definitely worth SK's while to hold on to these. They push A ramp together, and so that is another round for Immortals. And as you noted, it's one of those situations where you've had your money reset, so you're basically usually in double save territory, but all that really means now is that you're going to probably do one force buy, because you know you're not going to be able to buy the next round anyway, and you just take a full save there if it doesn't work out. You give yourself your chance to win as well by force buying.
Yeah.
The only thing it really does by not just straight up double saving is it does limit you in the sense that you definitely, it's going to be harder to afford, you know, extra utility. If you want to have multiple AWPs, maybe that's not an option, because you've basically bought down the 0 in this round, and even after waiting a full save the next round, the lost bonus still really isn't there for you. So it can set you back a bit, is the point.
So I don't think SK are going to invest much of anything into this. Yeah, probably not a penny.
This is a straight up USP round now. Force did not work.
Ooh,
Just want to chill out. Okay, $300. You know.
That thing's worth.
Sure. It definitely is $300. It doesn't really set you back too much. It's one nade, basically, in the next round. And the P250 can be very powerful. So.
Immortals already get the first player down and out. So they're just going to play it very cautious, not want to run in any stacks. But it's not like SK are doing anything too crazy right now with their pistols and a Scout. They had 2 players back bench, hoping Immortals would just run out towards B. Not the case. Fallen's going to rotate back over towards the A site. As the P250 gets dropped early, just USPs and a Scout out. Unless Fallen does what he does best with a Scout, Immortals should get away relatively clean here. Although yesterday we had a really close game, a really close round. I believe it was Cash, where SK with just P250s brought it down to a 1v1. So anything is possible.
Yeah, Fallen is probably one of the most scary people with the Scout in the game. You know, he's usually really good at tagging people up and giving his teammates a chance to clean them out, if not just hitting the outright headshot and ending it. This round, though, he won't really get a whole lot of chances to do much. Does get the one there, though, at the end of A ramp. That actually gets stops an AK-47, so saves them a little bit of cash in the next round if he can hold on to this. Taco really has nothing to lose here by trying to go for a little bit of something with the USP, look for an exit or something like that. But it looks like this should be handled out pretty well. In fact, Taco will just fall back. Realizes he can't really find the exit. Doesn't want to just give them free money for kills. And Phelps will look to hold on to this AK.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like Phelps just going to sit there. Hope someone comes around the corner from Immortals. And Immortals don't really have too much incentive to hunt.
It's actually a dangerous spot to save.
Yeah, you could have ran safely to A ramp. He's just going to sit here. You actually may get challenged, too, if Zach pushes in.
Very likely.
Yeah. So he's lucky that no one challenged. One bullet would have sent his crosshair to the moon.
Ooh, here's that AWP ringing out on ticket booth, but they don't actually meet up. And so, yeah, Phelps is basically going to be fully decked out this round because he held onto that AK. Has plenty of money to buy armor and utility. Fallen
Another one of
will
these
just get the
buys.
scout again and armor. And you have the UMPs and the M4. So this is still a really good buy out of SK, especially considering how good Fallen can be with the scout. He can still definitely be kind of the assist master of the round.
Immortals gonna fight for top mid control while Fur gets himself back in towards ladder room. Staying there with the UMP. Bolt's gonna do what he does best towards A. We've seen him make some interesting peeks from A ramp, where he creeps through the smoke. He caught Fallen off guard before. SK are not taking any chances. Do they smoke it and molly it this time? Just dwindle down the clock while Zach works his way bottom connector. Molly's gonna get thrown from Lucas mid window. So if anyone wanted to peek from SK, it's not gonna happen for a little bit longer, as Immortals would gain top mid control. But Fur's in a deadly spot with a UMP, although he has no support, and SK are playing 2 players back bench. Yeah, Fur will get a frag there, and he can get the AK if he wishes, but I think he just wants to stay alive.
Yeah, holding on to position can definitely be very strong, and they still have a couple players inside B as well. So the B defense is definitely locked up, and this also gives Fur a chance to kind of freely rotate back and forth through window room. He will, in fact, back down into CT spawn as Bolts actually takes over the A-bomb site. Henny also coming in. Phelps is kind of trying to hide out, and he gets sniffed out. And so now, all of a sudden, this round is really turned on its head. SK are looking really good, and now, all of a sudden, Immortals are posing a real challenge here. And in fact, they have an advantage in this. Oh, Fur gets caught switching guns. That is unfortunate.
Wow.
And Henny will just stamp it out with the hat trick. So there you have it. Immortals at 12. And all of a sudden, an overtime is looking really likely because the money, again, is starting to look really low for SK. I mean, they could do another type of force in this round, but they'll likely save. Or at least, you know, buy not that much. You know, buy a little bit, but make sure you can still get a full comfortable buy in the next round when you hit max loss bonus. Is the goal here. So Immortals with a great chance to at least find 13.
And Fallen will hit the op next round, right? Oh.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been a while
even
since
get a
we've seen
second
an op
on
for him.
cold the next round, so could see that come out. I know that SK like to run it cold, coming off catwalk with AWP, Fallen, moving all around the map. Definitely could be something they think about doing in the next round if they have the money. The thing about it is, though, if it doesn't work and you have to go to the 30th round and you've bought double
Yeah.
AWP, then it sets you back a little bit on the next round. So could be a gamble.
Man, Zach has no fear right now against SK. He just pushes up connector, cleans up 2. Fur trades it out, but he's down to 16 as Henny is going to start the push up catwalk. Taco's here playing towards bricks. Nice control in the P250 not to spam away. A controlled headshot onto Henny will send him into the next round. SK have made it a 3v3 and an AK out on Fur.
It's dicey now because that AK is in Fur's hands. He is low on HP, sure. But if he finds the headshot, it doesn't matter, so to speak. It looks like we are going to see a push into B. Taco playing up close here with the P250. Puts in some shots. Isn't able to jump out the window. But will they check Fur here? They may think that this is all clear now if they took down Taco. He could just hide out. He could be the snake in the grass.
Oh, they're not going to clean it. Fur can clean up this bomb planter, and he will. And he's going to transfer to Steel. Fur, just, as you said, snake in the grass will strike. And that's 25 seconds for Bolts in a 1v2. That nade, it's going to be really close. Is that? Yep, on the money. Down goes Fur. Bolts brings it to a 1v1. But look at the clock. 18 seconds. Cold's going to get out close to sight with his CZ. And Bolt's going to clear it. He will. Bolts rings it in. And if SK picked that up, that's game. So that's a huge play from Bolts.
Yeah, Bolts is 4 HP away from losing the match right there. That was dangerously close. It really shouldn't have gotten that far. But luckily, he holds on. So Immortals do find the 13th round. And there is that double AWP setup we were talking about. Cold will pick it up. That's what they were saving up for. So this is kind of their big play to end this. Again, if they lose this next round, sure they get max loss, but they won't be able to afford nearly as much as they have in this round. This is their best chance to close without an overtime. We will see Immortals again looking to just... They've been doing the same 1-3-1 on most rounds. And that kind of is their bread and butter. That's a great pick, though, from Steel. Coming through the smoke on the Taco, taking B for himself. As Cole's actually trying to do a flank through underpass. And Bolts has found Fallen. Everything's falling apart for SK right now.
Yeah, and Fur doesn't know what to do. He knows there's a player in sight, but how does he deal with it safely? As look at that push now. Into CT goes Bolts, and he's going to find Phelps rotating. So Fur just sits in jungle. I don't know if he knew he pushed it into that spawn, and with Cold missing that shot, that's maybe the round. It's a 1v3 for Fur. Immortals We're going to get to 14 unless Fur has a hell of a play. And it looks like he's just going to go back to mid. And look who's on catwalk. That's Lucas. Spotted him jumping out of the smoke. Fur's even more tagged. And go for the nade out, and he's out of there. He's going to try to save. Immortals get 14, and SK's next buy is just going to be pretty much his loss bonuses. Max loss is all the money
Yeah,
they're
again,
going
these
to have.
teams are polar opposites on how they approach their T side. SK's new 5, again, very aggressive, very fast mid control. Mix in these 1-4 splits. Really kind of just force your back up against the wall in a quick banner. Whereas Immortals have always been, since Steel joined the team, kind of a more slow, methodical 1-3-1 type team. That's what they've been doing. But on this round, the extremities get aggressive. Like Bolts pushes through A, Steel pushes through a smoke and B apartments, and they win both those fights. So that's the crazy stuff, is that they actually get a little bit tricky on both ends of the map, and it pans out great in both cases. And so now they will force that 30th round. And again, SK spent a lot of money to do the WAWP setup, and that means in this round, they're set back. They're only on UMPs on 4 of their players.
Yeah.
A Fallen may go for a scout, I guess. I mean, he could go for the UMP as well. He does, so a full up buy. So that's kind of the penalty they pay for going for WWP. Sets him a little bit back in this round on having M4s. So it all comes down to this. It could be the OT. Could be SK still closing it, though. As Fallen and smells blood at A ramp, but he's going to find the frag. He might be able to pick up a gun as well. Yep, going to get that AK.
Yeah, they have to get aggressive with the UMPs. Great play from Fallen to do so with the flash over from his teammate. So SK get the first one. His UMP is going to stay holding these aggressive angles. They can't afford to really push back into the sights and give sight lines to the T's. Steel's holding mid window. Henny with his op. There you go. But immediately traded from Fallen. So that's critical, really, for this round. That maybe what pushes SK over the limit, gets them this map without OT.
This
But
might be
it's
scary
getting
because Zach's
close.
coming with the bomb solo A ramp.
Yeah.
If he gets caught, I mean, this is over. Unless the connector push can somehow get Phelps in the back or take down Fallen or something. The bomb being isolated could be a real problem if Phelps gets this duel.
Fallen. He's going to fall to Get Right. There's a lot of names for the spot. I'm going to keep rocking with Get Right as Phelps pushes up in towards
This
a
is so
ramp.
scary.
Yeah, I mean, Zach needs some help before he peaks this. As the connector players start to walk up, Zach's going to be the first contact. Phelps can't win it. Zach comes out. So it's all on Fallen on sight to hold it off by himself. And he cleans up one of the connector players. And he will get spammed down through the box from Steel. And now Taco's rotating through Murder while Cold going to make the jump in a window. But look at Steel being so sneaky. Just waiting for anything from SK. As Cold, did he hear Steel jump down? That's the question. I think he did hear Steel jump into this position.
Not really sure. We'll find out momentarily.
So he shoots at the shadow. And that's what gives Cold that chance. And now it's all on Zach, the clutch master coach on 2 HP. He's going to get wide swung, and it came down to the wire. SK will take map number 1, though, but that was closer than we
That round was
expected.
2 HP away from being over long ago. As Zach goes down the Phelps and A ramp, that's basically checkmate because the bomb goes down in a really awful position. But Zach wins the fight, gives his team a chance, but still the 2v2 gets mopped up by SK. And that map gets a lot closer than I thought. I mean, at one point, they were up, 14-5? Right? Because 11-4
Yeah.
first half. Immortals won pistol to get 5, but then SK gets the next 3. So yeah, it was 14-5. And yet that game still winds up being a 16-14 game. So definitely hats off to Immortals to really, manage SK's economy well, play that 1-3-1, play in their comfort zone, make plays, do really well with your mid control. At times you saw Steel being able to push B apartments and make a play. Bolts, I think, on 2 different rounds pushed A ramp and killed Fallen. So definitely, great stuff there. As we look at kind of the key members of each team here, Cold and Bolts. Very tight race between those 2 players as far as the stats.
Yeah, Bolts went absolutely off. And you got to say, Zach, really, although he didn't fill FNX's shoes to a T, if you look at what they normally do, he still had his moments. From clutches to hitting some insane entries to applying pressure consistently towards Connector. I think in their 1-3-1 setup, he was the man to go towards Connector. He was the one to get first presence there. And he did a really good job of just not getting picked right away. He normally got out of there with a frag.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a good frag distribution across the board for both teams. Each team had 3 players in the 20s or at least near it.
Yep.
For SK, it was 3 players actually got 20, and Phelps not too far behind. For Immortals, Bolts, and Steel were up there. 2 players at 17. So definitely, both teams found their stride on the T side, though, right? Both teams had their struggles on CT. Was really kind of the tale of the match, but SK had just enough to close it out 16-14 and take their map pick as we move on to Inferno, which will be the pick of Immortals. Just let you folks know we are doing a giveaway. If you want to check it out down below, it's real easy. There's a graphic right down there. You just got to click it to enter. It's a chance to win a PC valued at over $2,000. It's a Revolt PC, good stuff. Also, some Logitech peripherals and an Asus 144Hz monitor. Also giving away mouse mats. So definitely be sure to go check that out. It's easy to enter, doesn't take up too much of your time, and you can get some free stuff. Also, check out the anxiety gaming thing down there at the bottom as well. Subaru is actually really looking to support mental health in esports and gaming as well, which is really cool. Something that doesn't get talked about a whole lot. Seems like taboo. People seem to get embarrassed to mention it, but it's something that we all may struggle with, or certainly a lot of people do, even if they don't fess up to it. And it's great to see Subaru supporting that endeavor as well. So definitely check that out. Really cool cause to get behind, and Subaru are definitely a big part of that. And again, give Subaru your feedback over on social media on Twitter at Subaru_USA. Looking to get your feedback about the tournament. What else you'd like to see from them as they're trying to explore the space of esports and doing it in a way that is authentic and nice to follow. And also give some support to me and Seaside on Twitter. Why not? At Dustmaret, at Seaside CS. Appreciate you. And we will be back in just a moment to bring in the next map of the series, so stay tuned.
Love.
I got it. I got you, baby.
It's being there when you're needed most. Love is knowing
He's the one.
it was meant to be. And love always keeps you safe.
We're fine.
Love is why we built a car you can trust, now and for a long time to come. The all-new Subaru Impreza sedan and 5-door. A car you can love, no matter what road you're on. The Subaru Impreza. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
Hey, bud, you need some help?
No, I'm good. Come on, Mom. I have to go.
We always trusted our Subaru Impreza would be there for him someday.
Hey, that's it.
We just didn't think someday would come so fast.
See you later, Mo.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Impreza, the longest-lasting vehicle in its class. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Super Invitational. Map number 2, Inferno, between Immortals and SK. A nail-biter is how I'd summarize the first map, and we may see some of the same here.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a map that Immortals have been very good on. They've played it probably 12 or 13 times if you combine online and offline play. They've only dropped it twice. They're undefeated online, so at least that's the case whenever they had FNX as a part of the lineup. Now, obviously, Zach standing in could change things. SK, for them, this map is probably one of their least played now, you know? Nuke obviously is their least played, but this is another map that they haven't played a whole heck of a lot, but they did bring it out at Sydney a little bit. A little bit of success. Beat Astralis once, lost to Phase 1, so we'll see what they got.
The Deagles is what Immortals are rocking right now, and it's not going to work out at all. Fur pushes down Banana and will punish these peaks towards top mid. So he gets the 2 openers. Lucas is thinking about peeking this with a Deagle. He'll end up committing to it. It's going to send Fur packing. But Immortals going without the armor, going for Deagles, some utility. They get shredded for it early.
Yeah, great pistol kills there from Fur to kick things off. Now they have to play from way behind very early on in the round as they're trying to gather up at mid together and break through. They do tag out Fallen, but Phelps, he's kind of hiding out in closet. Fallen's been kind of the bait in this whole bait and switch setup, but now it will be Immortals cracking through all of it. It's Zach who gets a couple of kills, but he's all alone is the problem. He still hasn't cleared out A entirely. Taco is still hanging around.
There's a smoke and a flash, and I think he's just going to go for the stick plant. He knows if he tries to clear it out, he might not come out on top, and he won't in the end. But at least he gets a bomb plant for Immortals. It starts not so well for them. There's a little light at the end of the tunnel as the bomb goes down.
Taco having fun.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, chilling out. Maybe just making sure that his team can pick up any utility they might want that's lying around. Pick up a kit. You did see Fur pick up a kit. So, you know, just making sure they save some dollars. So they recycle what they can. As it is a quite dominant round from SK, particularly Fur's opening kills really did set the pace. As again, SK did win the first map 16-14 on Mirage. If you're just joining us, they do have the 1 map advantage in the series. Of course, winner moves on to the grand finals later on this evening. Next matchup is going to be CLG versus Cloud9. That'll take place directly after this best of 3. To give you a heads up on that as well. Here we go, second round on the board. What we got?
Mollies and nades is what we got to start it off. Banana. So much easier to get those nades in the right place now. They change up Banana and Fallen. Getting super aggressive after his utility clears. Unable to find a frag. Fur trades it out, uses a molly of his own to keep him at bay. And you can see the rotations coming through with Phelps, but Zach wants to peek this. That's the UMP down while Fur's going to continue to hold the wall. Second one through, second one down. Henny going to do his best as his teammate falls towards Boiler, though. Henny with the UMP, no armor, going to peek and go down. Immortals, I don't think they invest anything that round, so it's going to be AKs here.
Yeah, indeed. They use that first round bomb plant and a very conservative approach to the second round to get that full AK buyout here in the third. That used to be how it always was done, but lately we've seen a lot of second round force buys, but not this time from Immortals. As Cold will actually be the one to tote the AWP this time. That's definitely interesting to see him have it instead of Fallen, as Fallen usually, of course, is the main opera for this team. But maybe they just really want to make sure they have an AWP at middle, because Fallen pretty much plays B, I would say 80% of the time. So he's one of those B-heavy AWP players on Inferno. A lot of Brazilians are. As they will indeed just push with SMGs and such this time around, and Fallen get the first pick. And the second. Well then.
Jeez. Farming. He's a cultivator. And he has gotten enough cash to be feeling pretty good about himself. As Immortals lose 2 members early. They still have some utility out on Zac and Steel, so they have 2 flashes, a smoke and a molly. Lucas keeping pressure towards apps. And the spammability of the apps, which is, it's pretty sick. I like how every wall is almost paper thin.
Yeah, definitely a lot more spammability in this version of Inferno than in the past. You know, even at this wall as well, there's definitely the potential to do some damage. You have a 3-on-5, but a lot of players low on SK Gaming, so there is definitely a chance for most to still break into this round. They can catch some of these weaker players as they're definitely gathering up at B. We already has Steel trying to clear out the top of it there at Sandbags, and his teammates are not too far behind. So we come down in the last 40 seconds, they will start making their way in, but Fur is boosted. Will they check it will be the key question. Fallen has their attention at Coffins.
Oh, Fur gets caught falling. He wanted to pop flash and Fallen on 16 HP is able to get 1. So SK will keep pressure here with Fallen. He's going to just hang out in Chapel, wait for his teammates to rotate. Cold finds Lucas with a gap in the smoke on site and steals in a 1v4. Now make it a 4v0. Phelps finds the last. And what I find interesting about the flower pot boost is I know there's a molly you can throw to molly it off, but I haven't seen it actually used in the professional level yet. Unless
I feel like you just don't want to waste a Molotov on that. Like, it's easy enough to just check it as you're walking through. Now, Fallen did try to do his best to actually try to pull their attention from Coffins and kind of hold their focus while Fur was going to try to make a play, but it just didn't work out, but it didn't wind up mattering, right? SK still win the round. Now it's a double AWP setup, so Fallen will have his at B. No, actually, it's Cole going to B. I think maybe this was spawn-based decision. Fallen did have a really good spawn to pick middle, so he will go for it. Not going to see anything, though. Immortals not going to give it up to him. So he will just fade back with nothing.
Ooh, that's spam. So that
Ooh,
takes
yeah.
15. Yeah, that's a sweet spam. You can do it safely. And he'll even get a nade in for extra damage. That goes down to 11. 15 from bullets. The nade will do the rest. Immortals will gain apps control, but it comes at a price. Some HP loss. And SK not wanting to take any chances. They don't want to get up close and personal with these Tech 9s. Taco falls to balcony. Currently just holding the gap in the smoke as Henny opens up on Fallen. So that's the op down if Immortals can run and grab it. Henny's going to immediately go forward for it. While Taco going to leave it all on the player's sight. That's Phelps. He can't find anything. And there's the op. Henny retrieved to deal with Taco, who had to push under porch. So Immortals, with barely anything invested, cleaned this up so far.
And did a great job getting through apartments. I mean, Taco jumped off, got a good kill at lane. He was hoping Phelps from the inside the site would kind of cover apartments for him, but Phelps goes down with no kills, and that really is how everything broke down today. And now it's just SK trying to hold on to what they got. Cold has his AWP inside library. His teammate, actually Fur in apartments, looking to see if he can get some exit kills, but obviously too much time has passed, even with kits to really play into any type of retake. But again, Fur can try to do some economic damage. So can Cole. They're definitely getting kills on all these exits, and Fur just hears the hop from Henny. He'll get behind onto another headshot, so it looks like maybe no guns actually get carried over. Nope, not at all. Both also goes down, so a lot of damage done by SK, despite the fact Immortals win the round. They have to do, everyone has to rebound.
I was about to say Immortals made out like bandits, but SK are the ones who come out on top with the gold, if you will. The double op setup that they don't have to rebuy. And Immortals, they get the round. They'll get a buy themselves, includes an op on Henny. As SK, I imagine it's going to be a similar setup when it comes down to the op side of it.
But Fallen going back to his normal spot at B this time again. Last round was spawn-based while he went for middle. This time it'll be Cold. Looking to take the charge. He gets flashed, but at least he gets out of there. Now, there's a flash you can do where Cold's at on the roof that lets you re-peek pretty safely. That still exists from the old version of Inferno. But I don't know if he'll actually go for it or not. Yeah, you can bounce it off a shadow on the roof. It's like a perfect pop flash for all of middle, and it lets you re-peek safely for the most part. But not going to take that into consideration this time, as there is a smoke in his face. Here it is. Oh, no, never mind. He's going to be doing a smoke. But you do it from this corner that Cold's in right now.
Yeah.
Well, we're not watching it, of course, on
By the
screen.
time it pops, you can peek mid. Yeah. It's a nice safe pop. So Immortals, they're smoked out mid. They throw a couple players towards apps. But look at SK. They immediately know apps is conceded, so they push down Banana to almost like say, you want to take this part of the map? We'll take the other part. So it's hard for Immortals to fall back now unless they have to lose a member or expel some utility. Fallen gets sent back, but Fur's in this cubby. And Fallen's going to re-peek and now just fall back into the site. And Henny won't clear this. It's a beautiful bait and switch. His Fur's going to clean it up, pick up that yop, and just fall back themselves. As Steel's going to get mollied off, going to retreat. Well, send some fire back in towards Pit while Taco sitting under hay bales. And there's 30 seconds. Immortals have 0 map control other than Steel. Out they go. Lucas out from under porch will spot coldzera. Cold will hit the shot in time while Steel's going to try to fight out of A apps with Zach. And it is just an all-out brawl on the A site, leaving Zach alone. He gets pushed onto the Glock and can't find the last player towards site. That's Phelps. SK. Great push down Banana.
Yeah, and they got their money reset, and they didn't save any guns the round that they won, right? All 5 went down, so that means their money is in really bad shape. They will have to take essentially a full save here. They'll get a few P250s and Deagles involved, but no armor backing it up, no utility. So this should be a mop-up round for SK Gaming. So they're off to a roaring start on their CT side. They still have the double AWP in play. They're very effective with those WAWPs as well. We're going to miss his shot, however, but going to be able to easily repeat because there's not much to threaten him, but he keeps missing shots. Doesn't matter too much, though, as he is able to get away.
Lucas is going to try to chase down this player. Phelps has no problems locking down that doorway. Cold's going to pop flash for his teammate to peek mid. Good kill on the bolts. Phelps has to reload, gets the pistol out. Steel had a chance to catch Cold, scoped in towards mid. And another great flash. So Immortals are using the little bit of utility they have to their advantage, but SK with the numbers and the rotations to shut him down at the end there.
And so SK doing really good here so far on their CT side of Inferno. Again, this is the home map of Immortals. It's their pick. It's the map that they probably had the most success on. And right now they're having a tough time getting themselves established.
They've expelled a fair portion of their cash into this round. And look at Fallen. Hyper aggressive down mid. Zach shoulder peeks it, but I don't think he spots Fallen. And Fallen can walk push this with a teammate if they wish. As he hears pressure coming from alt, he's just going to fall back to a safe corner. Zach shoulder peeks it again, and Fallen's not feeling too comfortable. He's going to fall back to the site while Fur, in the meantime, playing very edgy on the side of the smoke. As Immortals, they're telling quite a bit of what their setup is. A lot of pressure given towards Banana right now.
Yeah, they're really trying to fight for control of this instead of just letting SK have it, which has been the case a lot of the time. They want to make sure that they have this option open to them. If they want to do some type of later B hit, they need to at least establish this. They're going to do a little bit of a boost here over the wall, but Bolt's just not catching Phelps. They didn't really quite get the vision he needed to land the shot there. But they do at least get control of top and air. They force Phelps and Fur to concede. They're going to go for the boost. Actually, both AWPs for SK are crossfiring middle. So a little bit of a different look, as like I said, usually Fallen loves the AWP at the B-bomb site. Kind of one of his trademark positions.
Oh, Phelps gets to coffins. Bolts will take the peek. Sent back down, smoke towards CT. But it looks like it's all a ruse for Immortals. They show face, show bomb, and immediately pull it back. coldzera not fooled yet as he'll find that player towards porch. Taco gonna find Zach coming out through mid, deals damage. Zach gets his rifle back out, but Taco finds his teammate. And Taco's got 2, leaves it all on Bolts in 15 seconds. And Taco, that's a 4K for him as SK. They just pulled the one rotator over to Arch. They had no reason to pull anyone else, and it works out beautifully.
Yeah, really well played. Particularly Cold getting that pick and then Taco sweeping through with the M4 afterwards. Kind of made up for the fact that they did an early rotation towards B. They only had 2 guys a day, but both those players really stepped up to the plate and delivered. And now they have Immortals back onto a save again. Just a couple of Tech 9s and 250s. The one-head armor on Bolts, that's it. And it's going to be heavy B presence from SK. They're putting 3 people here right off the bat, and Fur is definitely looking to get antsy with his peaks. So far, an equal exchange.
Fallen's going to hold the corner. He actually legs that player as he jumps around. More jumping to be had shortly as Fallen has support from a rifler. P250 comes out to clean up Zach. Immortals trying to press Fallen back into the site, but Fallen just holds his own, finds 2. Lucas will get 1 shot onto Taco before he'll fall. Steel, last one remaining. No 1v4. Contemplating coming through the mid-smoke, coldzera. Now, where it was a possibility, but Steel ducks down and makes coldzera's crosshair placement have to pull down. Not in time, and Steel's it up now. And a doable situation is he's getting pushed from Phelps, and if he found that kill, it got really scary because the bomb was in a safe place.
That certainly, that was definitely getting a little bit dicey there for a moment, but SK do close it out, and they're able to retain the WAWP, which is saving them money. They're obviously banking up cash from the winning streak, but it's also nice that they're not having to rebuy AWPs. Lets them put together even more money in the savings account, so to speak, as they're up 7-1. Core Brazil's very aware of. Memes.
Oh, jeez. That's going back now, isn't it?
That was 3 years ago.
I don't think that'll ever get old.
Same with
Lucas?
blowing a 3-1 lead. Don't get to use that very often in CS because usually it's just best of threes or best of threes, right? So you never get to 3-1. Have to have a best of 7 to do that,
Yep.
which we don't ever really. I think one event did.
That's a lot of CS. This Taco gets one before he's going to hit pay dirt. And now it's a 3v3. Cold Zero. Look at this, though. Patient on the shot. Make sure he hits it. Zach going to hold for Cold Zero's peak, but he has to be careful because that smoke's going to start to dissipate towards Porch, and that'll give an opening for Fallen and Fur. That's Fallen. Going to pop some shots under Porch. Zach has to be careful, and he actually walks into it. Fallen's pre-fire will land on Zach through the post. And now Cold's going to make presence, draw both players' attentions, and Fur will find the last two. Lovely play from SK.
Yeah, outside of Henny getting a couple entries to get the bomb down, it was a dominant round from SK across the board on everyone else for the closer, and they're up 8-1. Very dominant half. Very reminiscent of Mirage. They won that half 11-4 in the first half. Obviously from a different side. But still, it's SK with the hot start, so it's making it tough on Immortals in this series. Last time they did find a way to find their footing and get back into it, but we'll see if they can do the same as, again, their tournament life is on the line. They lose this map, they're out. Of course, again, getting in the top 4, being a part of today does guarantee them $2,500 in the prize pool, but obviously you want to get to those grand finals for the extra cash and the prestige, so to speak.
The first ever Super Invitational. I mean, it's a big deal. And it's a lot of cash for a weekend, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, basically win 3 best of 3s and you get $15,000. That's pretty sick.
Oh, Fallen just misses that shot, and Bolts will capitalize on it. Fallen tried to do a little ballerina jump there, but it will get punished. As Bolts clears out the B site, the bomb will get there. But Immortals are very spread apart, and if Phelps can pick one of these players, there's only one on site. Instead, it's going to be all Immortals, leaving it all on Taco. 1v4. Bolts will take the peek. Don't count Taco out yet. He has a kit and full utility. Now, Nade will go in, not going to land. Henny, yeah, he's just going to go ahead and take the peek from quad. Finds the last. So Immortals get number 2 on the board. And it wasn't too costly.
No, not at all, which was great because the last time they went around, they lost everyone. So this is finally a chance to not have to do as much rebuying, but the fear of an economy reset's still definitely out there because, again, SK, they've been saving up a lot of money. They're able to immediately buy back into the double AWP setup. They're going to go for the triple B pressure right off the bat, which is something that Immortals has really struggled to handle. SK's won a lot of these skirmishes at the top of Banana in rounds like this one, and they're going to push way deep up in here, just spamming through that smoke. Don't get anything done with it, however. In fact, SK's one who takes the most damage from that initial fight as Phelps is down half already.
Question for you, off the cusp. Do you feel, due to the UMP being so meta right now, that CTs feel more pressured to buy head armor? Have you ever considered that?
Certainly, it's also a case that any other gun that they might use against you, the head armor is going to help you out a lot. And obviously the AK is going to one-headshot you, but if they're using anything else,
Yeah.
definitely can come into play.
Just a thought I had while I was eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch this morning. I thought I'd share with you, because you weren't at my breakfast table. I couldn't ask you then.
That is true.
Yeah.
As things have kind of slowed down, as Immortals have been able to get a player up middle, they have control of top Banana, so they have their options open. Zach is looking to cut off rotates, hold people in place. Definitely going to be a focus on B. I think Fur is in fact boosted. Phelps is going to be inside the site. They have a bit of a crossfire here on the initial choke point, but if they check Fur, it's a real problem. But Phelps playing that fountain corner, it'd be so hard to sniff him out, and he's just delivering now from new box as well. He's on the 17, but he's already done more than enough, and Fur actually gets a kill from the Molotov he put down earlier.
Henny overstays his welcome into it, so Immortals just get shut down. SK keep the double ops. They lose one member, as Immortals try to just brute force their way into B, and SK are not having none of it. As the scoreline's 9-2, and Immortals in a weird spot, right? You're down to 1,400. Do you go for a buy here, a half buy? It looks like it is just probably going to be a full save to get rifles next round. Maybe some pistols, yeah.
Yeah, this is a chance for SK to find out digits pretty quickly, as that money is low on Immortals. They've had their money reset twice now this half. And that nade stack does so much damage. Winds up not mattering because Fallen finishes with AWP anyway, so a little bit of overkill. Taco also holding off the apartment's presence there of steel. So this round is looking like it quickly may be in the books in favor of SK.
Did you see what that smoke just did at mid?
I did not.
It put out the molly and boiler. So it
pretty
only
well.
half bloomed, yeah. That was odd. The little
Yep.
things I noticed.
Still nade issues that need to be worked out here in this game. That
Yeah.
people are aware of. Definitely still the whole bug where you can kind of see through a smoke sometimes, depending on a nade or a Molotov interacting with the smoke.
Gotta
They
love it.
probably have as well. Indeed. One
Almost
thing I've
flawless from
even
SK.
heard as well is that you can kick dust into it. Like if you shoot the ground, like the dirt, like on Dust 2, for instance. I know we don't play Dust 2, but just to give an example, that apparently will also mess with the smoke grenade if you shoot and then particles fly into it.
Odd.
Yeah, so you
A
will
lot
see
of-
occasionally people do that.
We live in a sandbox world with our game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Enough of
10-2.
harping on the game,
Yeah.
though. Let's harp on this
We
game.
love it.
This match
Yeah.
ahead of us.
I mean, maybe this buy for Immortals. The UMP, a little utility. First, still with the MP9. Ready and willing to deal damage here. He gets spotted, but throws a molly. And he's just going to wait on the other side of the smoke, keep presence, while he has support from Fallen with his op. As Lucas is going to get back into AAPs. And this time, Immortals get the opener.
That is true. Fur goes down, and so Fallen's left alone here for a bit. Phelps is making the rotation, and Fallen's used a nice incendiary to stop them from pushing any further and buying more time. But this does spread the defense a bit thin for SK, right? There's actually a big gap now they have to worry about the arch side, because Taco and Cold are focused up on lane. So that really gives a chance for a nice little wrap here from Immortals. As Cold actually will swing around to respond to this with his AWP. But a lot of weight on Taco to hold not only apartments but also lane. But Phelps is pushing through Banana and Fallen's now rotated, so they're actually handling this pretty well on SK, all considering. Fallen's
gets
gotten
here
bogged down in
perfect
brackets. Yeah, this is rough now.
Yeah, Fallen got there perfectly. That rotation time couldn't have been better. He got right to library just as they wanted to pressure towards arches. As Cold Zero in sight, he's just gonna have to sit. He could just sit and wait. He even gets a kill for his troubles as it leaves it all in Henny. Immortals, they had the numbers and they had the timing to go, but great rotations from SK. Great use of utility. Shuts it down as Henny will get one for the road. Tries to pick up his fourth as he has 3 in this round, down to 23. And Cold Zero will take his head clean off his shoulders.
And what a nightmare for Immortals. I mean, they get the 5-on-4, they get mid control. They have a moment there for about, I don't know, like 5 seconds where they had the defense spread pretty thin. And then all of a sudden, Phelps pushes down Banana, Fallen rotates Arch, and then they get bogged down at the first level of middle. They're never able to press through lane or wrap around before that rotate from SK sets in. So they wind up getting shut down. And so SK, they keep building out this lead. They're now up 11-2. Immortals are back into a very low-buy situation in the later parts of this half. And so SK have great chances to just have a massive lead rolling over to the second half. It's already quite big.
Gonna see Steel again towards AAPS with his UMP. Taco gonna take this peek like he normally does, but not today. Lucas will take down Taco with a nice deagle headshot, and Cold's shot almost lands through Boiler up towards that player. As Cold's gonna look towards mid, he's got 2 with it for his troubles. Has fallen. Just unscopes at the wrong time. Can't hit the no scope. That's 2 for Lucas. Now it's an op and an M4 to work with. As Cold has to contend with the smokes, he is just gonna fall back. A minute 3 on the clock. Immortals will get this bomb planted. But SK are close. It's not like they have far rotations to make. They're all coming from port side. And Phelps is going to open it up. Steel gets tagged in pit. As Lucas with the op is going to do his best to hold the cross here. But Phelps jumping up on Hay. Leaves it all on Lucas. And op back in sight. Not the place you want to be. And he'll miss the first shot. And Fur will take it down. SK. They had the numbers there real quick.
Yeah, I mean, at least they get a bomb plant that gives them a little bit more money into this next round. But it's got to a point now where you need to be winning rounds. Like, money is certainly important, but, you know, you can't just, like, yeah, getting a bomb plant for extra money is great in the middle of the half, but you're already down 12-2. You really got to try to find ways to win rounds like that. Unfortunately, just having your economy reset twice in the fashion that they did, it hurts so much. They just really haven't consistently found something that works. They've won battles here and there, but the bulk of the time, SK's rotations have been on point. They've been so good at controlling Banana. And now you have Phelps just freestyling at window, really getting them pick. Luckily, still catches on to him as he tries to back away.
Fallen's gonna get boosted here towards the wall. That's such a strong boost. It's hard to contest with, as Fallen can just keep ducking down and re-peeking this. He's going for more. Fallen doesn't stop. That's 3 from that top little wall boost, and it will pay off beautifully as Steel's the last one remaining. Fallen, I mean, what can you do against that?
You gotta trade him. I mean, he was hanging up there for so long. He missed a shot. Like, he gave them chances to take him down. They just could not capitalize, and he winds up with the quad kill on the round. Look at the frag distribution from SK Gaming there. 3 people at 15, 114, 113. So top fraggers at 15, bottom fraggers at 13. That is incredible production, straight up just firing on all cylinders, and there was just nothing there for Immortals.
And that really speaks to how well SK rotated there on the CT side. I think the rotations were clean.
4
I never
guys
saw it
at
over
least
rotate.
93 ADR.
That's actually
straight
insane.
up domination. Yeah.
The stats from Fallen while we follow Fallen. So there you go. That's really neat. And Fallen really did a great job locking down Banana. And he was he wasn't the anchor, right? So he was allowed to rotate to arc side. And every time he did, he either went library, went arch, he pushed into sight. Immortals just couldn't handle the quick rotations from SK, who always noticed when there was an issue arising when it came to mid control, and they just rotate immediately or put players in sight.
They're really efficient in like 4v5 type situations as well. So even when like Immortals would get an early advantage, they are really good at taking the correct gamble to like push down Banana or whatever to even things up and make sure they get in good position to retake. And as we wait for the second half to start, make sure that you get in on the giveaway that we have down below. Again, really easy. Just click the graphic down there, as you have a chance to win a nice Revault PC valued at over 2K. You also have some Logitech peripherals involved and an Asus 144Hz monitor. It's easy to enter. It's free. Chance to get some cool stuff. Definitely do so. Also giving away some mouse mats. So definitely be sure to get involved as we wait to get involved in this second half. And we won't have to wait too much longer. 10 seconds left on the timer to kick off this second pistol round.
We'll see what Immortals decide to buy up here. I imagine we'll see a kit and a little bit of utility. SK Fallen, as the per normal, will pick up the utility for their side, as Immortals will get the kit out on Zach. We may see a smoke, maybe a P250 drop. It's really open to what he'd like to do, as Henny's going to get utility behind it as well.
And so this is obviously a must-win for Immortals. Losing this, game over is probably right on the horizon, as well as their tournament life ended. And of course, we did see them lose Mirage in very close fashion, actually. That game wound up turning out to be quite nice despite the big lead from SK. Now Immortals has to do even better to come back in this game and pose a real threat.
Look at SK. 3 members getting ready with the bomb to go out towards Zach's position on balcony. He's holding for it, but they cross so quick. Oh, he gets the first, can't find the second. He went for the taps, and now Bolt's in sight. It's all on him to hold this. He gets gushed through the box, goes to single, and he will die there by himself until Steel shows up with a P2000. He was able to pick one off. Cole's just going to go ahead and stick the plant, but SK are in a tough spot. These post plants aren't ideal. Push back into sight, both of them, as Immortals have 2 players coming from porch. And look at that shot from Steel. The peaks from Steel are disgusting as Cole's in a 1v2. Isolates them both, but Lucas. It came close, but Lucas with the porch side peek will pick up number 3 for Immortals. We said they don't pick this up, that's game, but they got it.
I don't know what Luke... he was thinking about maybe going to pick up something, I guess, but decides to just go ahead and go on the defuse. Almost a teammates there from Immortals. Well handled. Zach at least getting 1 kill at the initial apartments push, and Steel really came up huge with a couple of nice shots. Came down to a 1v1, though, in the end, so it's still quite scary. And SK do get the bomb plant money as well. Looks like they will force up around it. They're not going to save for some type of third down AK buy. They want to just go ahead and get this done now. Because if they do, you reset Immortals economy now, it's basically GG, right?
Yeah, you're SKR in 14, Immortals either A, force buy, or play for OT, so.
And even the force buy would just be, like, not great.
Pistols, think they can afford a UMP, really, yeah.
So they're not out the woods yet on Immortals. This could get really dangerous really fast as SKR swarming up middle.
Wow, and they already run over Bolts. Steel with a good position with his M4, but he can only get 1. I think he needed more than 1 kill in that situation to really hold this off. As Zach and Boiler undetected, picks up the first, won't check his corners. That's going to be his downfall. Phelps will put Zach down into a 2v2. Lucas and Henny do get here on time, so they have enough time to work with. An M4 And a UMP, Taco going to be playing this spot on top bicycle, which is so strong. It's a headshot angle all day long. As before the smoke blooms, Lucas will fall. Henny in a 1v1. We'll check the single box, and Taco has time to work with. Henny has to push him. As Taco going to hold the angle, Henny onto the pistol. Not wanting to reload the UMP. He'll do so now. Time's becoming an issue. Taco going to play this beautifully. Holds for the head, and we'll find it. What a play from Taco.
Yeah, almost a team ace from SK that time around. Taco with the finishing touches there. As again, the frag distribution just staying so even. Top fragger 17, bottom fragger 15. Distribution is so good on SK. And I mean, Immortals are now basically just broken. They'll buy up what they can this round, obviously. They'll try to challenge, hold off SK from map and series point, but certainly don't have the ideal setup to do so. Gonna have to hit some nasty pistol shots.
Fallen. Gonna flash for Phelps to take the early peek. Dodges the flash as Phelps will hold the corner, see if anyone from Immortals wants to take the re-peek. As they're down to a couple smokes, couple flashes. They do have one kid on Lucas. As SK gonna slowly but surely chip away with the utility to gain top banana, control Henny. And how deadly he is with the Deagle. Can he prevail from Coffins? He's gonna be waiting as he'll see the smoke thrown into his position, but where he's standing, he can just stay here. The smoke will bloom, he can just chill. He'll spot Phelps, and he gets one. And he's gonna push through it as well, looking for Fallen. We'll miss a couple shots. Fallen will get away and even pick up the AK. As it looks like SK are going to commit to this, though. They have one player mid, so they can't really fall back to any map control. And the pressure all lies on Lucas.
Yeah, they've gamble stacked A, and they're going to guess wrong. Lucas has to just be massive with this Deagle, because this rotates very far away.
Made the call. He needs some help, though. He's stuck back quad. He hasn't made any noise. That's what he has going for him. But Cold Zera mid-air lands and is able to find the shot. And this is going to be the round. Bolts and Zach. And especially with first positioning, holding for this peek into CT. I mean, Immortals... Do you even bother saving here? It's going to be the same buy next round.
You can't really retake, though. You don't have the kit. You don't have the utility. So you're kind of... You don't want to, but you really don't have much of a choice. And obviously rolling over CZ head armor into the next round will at least give you something to work with. It's one of those unfortunate situations where, because they were spread thin, because they, lost a member, they had to, they were forced to take a stack somewhere, right, and hope for the best. I mean, you're only on pistols and armor, you're down a man, you have to stack something, and unfortunately for them, they stacked the wrong side. There's no mistake in that. It's what you have to do, but it just didn't pan out for them. And so now SK are up to that point. Yep. So at least they get something. That is definitely a good point. But they have to win 12 in a row to force an overtime, and they're in a round where they have very little to work with outside of that AK.
And with such a big lead like this, and how free-flowing the T side is, a little less hampering is the old version of Inferno. I mean, SK can just keep justifying.
I'm surprised Bolts didn't drop that CZ since he has an AK instead of someone having to buy a Deagle, so they could have bought a little bit more utility.
That's a good point.
A little bit of oversight, not too. I mean, there's a lot more to worry about than that, right? And Phelps has already found the entry on the round at B.
And dealt damage. And he's tagged down to 19. The spray from Phelps is absolutely disgusting. And Phelps is just going to go on a little bit of a solo mission through the smoke. Henny, well, he's just going to sit in the smoke. I mean, he'll be alive as long as it lasts. And he may catch one member. He's still just sitting, and he's going to peek out, and it's a sad end to the story. Poor Henny, as Phelps going to find Steel. Leaves it all on Bolts. So the AK salvage 1v5. Let's go Bolts. Find the initial engagement. Won't take a scratch. That's a good start. The spam through the box, actually, to find Cold, but that's going to be the series. This map not as close as Mirage. 16-3, going SK's way.
And so that is Immortals' first loss online, on Inferno. They were perfect record in a until that happened. Now he's had a couple losses offline, but SK will take that away from them, and they will take the slot to the grand finals. So they will be looking to meet the winner of CLG and Cloud9, which will be coming up in just a little bit. But yeah, just a solid game there from all of SK. There really is no man of the match in that one because everyone really stepped to the plate. It was just very tight frag distribution across the board. Again, folks, we are doing a giveaway. Definitely check it out there at the bottom. Graphic, just click it, easy. Lots of free stuff up there. Revolt PC, Logitech peripherals, Asus monitor, easy to enter. Also, lots of mouse mats involved there. So definitely get involved with that. Also, go check out the Anxiety Gaming that we have down there. It's something else that Subaru is supporting about mental health and gaming and esports. So definitely check that out. It's a really important topic. Certainly something that doesn't get talked about enough, and definitely cool to see Subaru supporting that. Also, be sure to check out Subaru_USA on Twitter. Use the Subaru Invitational hashtag. Let them know what you think about the event, as well as, give them your ideas on what else you'd like to see them be a part in, as obviously they're kind of just dabbling in the esports for the first time. They'd love to hear from you on what you like, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see in the future. And also give a follow to myself, at Dusmaret and at Seaside CS. We'd appreciate that as well. And, of course, there is the brackets to give you an idea on how things are shaping out as SK have moved through all the other Brazilian teams to make it to the finals. And now we just have to wait and see what happens between CLG and Cloud9, which I think starts in like 30 minutes or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. That second map obviously went through really fast, so we're a little bit ahead of schedule. But we'll definitely get that next match started as soon as we can, but likely in about 30 minutes. And Seaside, I'll give you the final word, because obviously this is your last cast of the day.
It is.
So, if I take a final word and we'll sign us out.
It's my last farewell. I'd like to thank Subaru for having me. And Dust just nailed everything on the head. The giveaway, the reaching out. And it's awesome to see Subaru coming into the esports scene. And I think with the community embracing it as much as you guys have, Subaru's definitely going to be back. So make sure to keep sharing that love. And stay tuned. CLG C9, 2NA teams going to go at it. The underdog CLG, who've been looking better lately with the add of Ricky, and C9, who are always a fan favorite. So don't go anywhere. That's exciting. bo3 is coming up next with Dust and Metis. Hold tight.
Love.
I got you, baby.
It's being there when you're needed most. Love is knowing
He's the one.
it was meant to be. And love always keeps you safe.
We're fine.
Love is why we built a car you can trust, now and for a long time to come. The all-new Subaru Impreza sedan and 5-door. A car you can love, no matter what road you're on. The Subaru Impreza. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
Hey, bud, you need some help?
No, I'm good. Come on, Mom. I have to go.
We always trusted our Subaru Impreza would be there for him someday.
Hey, that's it.
We just didn't think someday would come so fast.
See you later, Mo.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Impreza, the longest-lasting vehicle in its class. More than a car, it's a Subaru.